Another piece of Georgetown. See how this one goes. Okay, I need a bigger bopper for this one. Get a bit more leverage on the hit. So right in the base of that little divot is a crack running straight into the piece. So I think this whole tip piece is gonna break off in a bit. Hope it's just a shallow little crack from the surface of the flint. If not, then yeah, it's gonna be a slightly shorter point. Yeah, there it goes. So at this point I'm deciding which side is going to become the point, the front of my arrowhead. So this side's got a bit of a flat area from that break. So that's a natural end already. So I can kind of remove this thick bulbous area and make a narrow point down this way. Or I can just pull this narrow, or square this end off and then narrow down to a point on this side. So for example, ending up with that as a point. So either one really. Okay, so this side is still very thick on this edge here, going into the middle a bit. So I'm going to work that off, and then once that's worked off, I've got a suspicion that this front section is going to become my point, even though it's slightly wider right now. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now that this is nice and narrow, or narrower, I'm gonna pretty much start indexing my point out. Okay, so at this point I've got my point decently thinned out. I've got a rough outline of the shape of the point that I've got. Now I'm going to go to pressure flaking. Okay, so the plan is to make an Edwards point. So a very common point you'll find down in Texas. There we go. Hey, so next day, my camera battery didn't make it through the last video, so I'll keep going for now. Yeah, so I messed up a little bit here. So right in this notch, I kind of stalled it out a bit. And that means that I've got a very flat walled surface in there and not a nice edge on the bottom or the top to work off. So once this happens, you either have to start widening your notches or hope that when you push a flake through from inside that wall that you don't break off one of the ears or the corner or something. Okay, pretty happy with those notches for now. So now to finish up the blade. Now this blade is a bit long. Edwards points are generally a little bit shorter. So I'm going to kind of work the general shape that I need. And I'll probably leave this one a little bit long, but you know, there's always variation in these points. Let me clean up that base a bit. Ah, there we have, a little Edwards point. So the Edwards point. These are late prehistoric to Mississippian arrowheads, aging them about 800 to 1100 years old. They're primarily found in south central Texas and into the south central plains. What makes these points really interesting is that these are actually true arrowheads, which means that they are not dart points but actually bow and arrowheads. So what makes these really interesting is that these are also some of the biggest arrowheads found in Texas and the oldest. So these are often also considered transitional arrowheads, because they're found in association with true dart points, such as Enzor, Frio, Pedernales, and Uvalde points. So that's pretty cool, considering that the bow and arrow is actually a very, very recent invention or tool used in North America.